This is Smithy.tv.
All right, well, welcome to Smithy TV. This is the Mind Reels. I'm Tim. With me, as always, is Sue.
Hello.
Good week so far, Sue?
Yes.
You had an awesome post today, I might add.
I had a very heartfelt, sad post.
Yeah. Hudson the polar bear is leaving Toronto Zoo.
It sure is.
He's
on my
mind.
mind.
Because it's too cold?
Yeah. He's like, the hell with this.
It remind him of home. What was it? He was like, fuck. I remember it being
You can
it's like minus 25. That's where I used to live.
Yeah. I'm going to Winnipeg where it's warmer.
What's happening to Hudson?
He's moving to Winnipeg to be part of their new Journey to Churchill exhibit. They'll be breeding him eventually, but at first he's going to have the whole place to himself, and he's going to be thrilled.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's great for him, sucks for me, but...
Sucks for Sue a lot.
It does. So I wrote a very lengthy post filled with as many pictures as I felt like putting in there.
Yeah, it was good. Made a lot of people cry at work.
I sure did.
How long have you had a relationship?
For not quite a year. Not quite a year. It was like
About
February, end of February when we first met him.
Yeah. What did you do on your first date?
I watched him fall asliep on a rock.
Yeah,
he's captivating.
He was chewing on a melon rind and then, yeah. I have that effect on.
No.
Wait a minute.
And if you missed it, our guest this week is a returning guest. We've interviewed him once before, but now he's in our studio. Paul Amos of Lost Girl fame, and let's not forget that new awesome movie, Sex After Kids.
Yes.
Which you're going to pimp this weekend at Santa Barbara.
We are going to pimp, yeah. I'm going to pimp
out
out those three birds on the West Coast.
Yeah,
maybe we can make a porno.
There you go.
All three of them, it'd be great. I mean, I've got a redheaded blonde.
It's a sequel.
Yeah.
Dark lady. Yeah, it'd be great. Wonderful.
Just don't tell Ryan or Jeremy.
I'll produce that. No, I'll get him to produce it. I get Jeremy to direct it.
More passion.
Exactly.
More intense.
And then we'll have it on next year. We'll open world premiere that one.
Yeah, people would like that though, I think.
Yeah, which festivals is that getting into?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wow, I can't believe you got this.
Yeah. You sure did.
And now that you have it, I am going to have to open it and get this thing started. Because there's no interview complete without somebody drinking a beer, is there?
Hell no.
No.
Hell no.
Not on this show.
I'm just off a cleanse as well. Not quite the 30-day.
You don't have to finish it right here.
But, wow. Yeah. Wow.
That's a big deal.
Although maybe you do.
This doesn't happen on Letterman.
No, it shouldn't.
This doesn't
See,
happen.
David.
No.
Although I'm not sure if it's a screw top. How classy would that be? That's right, we've got that in my coat.
You've got that covered.
He's got it
covered.
Well, just look how awesome that bottle is.
I mean, look at this bottle.
It's so pretty.
I'm going to be sleeping on the rock at the end of this interview.
10% alcohol.
You can ship me off to Winnipeg too.
You'll be like, it's warm. It's so beautiful here.
It's actually not warm. Do you know what? It's so cold in Stratford. I don't know if you can see this on the camera, but my
your skin like
is actually raw. God, it is like minus 30 with the wind chill.
That is not right.
Yeah, it's not funny.
That's right. I remember because I used to walk to work when I was living in Kingston. And
this isn't going to be one of those uphill both ways in the snowstorm.
Oh no, it totally is. Because I used to have to pass the pen on my way, and it's just flat on either side.
Right, I'd put it.
And you get the wind off the lake, so it would be minus 20-ish, and then the wind off the lake would be like.
Yeah. It's all about my poor temper.
It's very nice.
Yeah.
Look at that.
You know, Other than the fact that this glass is still cold because it's like -30 in Canada, it's actually freezing as we speak. That is an awful pour. You can tell I've been on a cleanse for 30 days. Look at the head on that.
That is not the perfect pint.
Massive. It's terrible. But it'll all taste the same.
Yeah, that's right. That is right.
Anyway, I'm not hawking like Flying Monkey's beer, but it is wonderful Canadian beer.
I'm gonna have to go out and grab a
I've
bottle
never
myself.
had it. I know.
Maybe they can supply you with drinks now.
See, sponsor.
Yeah, we need a sponsor.
We've got some feelers out there. I'm just saying.
After 30 days, I can't tell you how good that tastes. Even with a cough and a cold, because like I heard Emily, she had a cough and a cold as well, didn't she, or something? Yeah, we're all sick on Moscow.
Well, I remember at the
Contagion.
Except for Anisel,
No,
because nothing ever happens to Anisel. Anisel is perfect. She is the most perfect human being around. I'm actually thinking of hiring a private detective to hunt down and find some kind of piece of dirt on Anisel.
There's got to be someone out there.
We asked her if she had jeans or ripped jogging pants or anything.
It's too perfect.
Damn her. We love you, Anna. You got to come back soon. Bring the kid. So that'll be like May, July.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Up until then, she really can't help it.
Oh, you can smell it.
Chocolatey.
Yeah, I saw that on the Imperial Chocolate Stout.
Very, very nice.
I'm gonna have to try. Pick a couple of those up myself, I think.
I got a couple
I'll have
more.
to write that into every contract now.
Yeah, do it.
I want a bottle of
For as long as you can get it. It'll just get harder and harder, and then people have to struggle more and more to please you. It's been discontinued. It's going to get harder and harder until...
you got no interviews. I'm not coming. I want to get that one bottle.
I paid $250 on eBay.
Better be a good interview.
I think it's turned.
Is that like drinking when you've got a cough and a cold in the vain hope that like the alcohol will kill what you have?
Oh yeah.
I do that all the time.
At the moment, I'm thinking, yes, maybe at the tail end of this.
And I'm like, maybe it'll like numb my throat, so like all the pain will just sort of go away for a little while. It'll relax everything.
Yeah. Or I'll just end up sleeping on a rock and all.
Yeah.
With Hudson.
Yeah. He'll keep you warm.
Yeah.
All right, what are we talking about? What's going on?
Well, I don't know. We got tons of stuff because we tweeted a course today about questions, and everybody's got questions for you. Some of them are goofy, some of them not so goofy, which is fun. I like the goofy ones to start with. I like they want to know your favorite flavor of Pop-Tart.
The scalding hot variety.
It burns your mouth like pizza. You know.
So hot I can't even taste it.
I'm like, but the funny thing, I've never ever eaten a Pop-Tart.
No, I'm not a Pop-Tart guy.
Yeah, but my partner, she was a big Pop-Tart fan, and when I first kind of, stayed over with her, she had tons in the freezer. Yeah. And I put them
in the freezer. That's hardcore too.
Yeah, exactly.
How bad could it be? Yeah.
In case anything happens, like a nuclear holocaust.
Because I'm pretty sure they last a long time anyway. I just keep mine in the cupboard.
Pop-Tarts are probably worse than the nuclear holocaust.
You're right.
It'll heat them up.
Well,
it's toast.
It is like an atomic bomb going off in your mouth. The toaster, and you get to the wrong temperature. That's what happened to me. I was like, it's hotter than the sun.
Didn't come with that caution filling, maybe hot thing.
No.
That poor root beer. What happened to it?
I don't know. What flavors would I like?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'd have to stick to some kind of fruity one.
Yeah, I like the fruity ones. Because they have chocolate ones too, but I find they're not as chocolatey as I would prefer, so I just stick with like a fruity...
Fake chocolate.
With like a fake frosting on top.
Alcoholic chocolate.
That on the other hand,
alcoholic chocolate, good.
We would take that.
Yay! The root beer's open.
Yeah.
Oh, root beer. We can cheers with root beer and chocolate.
Dr. Pepper.
Dr. Pepper.
You are going for the big guns with your sponsorship, aren't you? I'm going for like
you know what? I think
I prefer that one.
Oh, you would? Okay.
Nothing against Mug or Dr. Pepper ever.
No.
You've got to control these questions, haven't you? So
but we like people were curious about the costumes this season. I mean, are you worried that at some point the costume department is going to go too far with the costumes? Because the police
or not far enough, perhaps.
Uniform we had on in episode 2, I think, was it?
Yeah.
That looked a little uncomfortable.
It's weird. It's weird, you know.
It didn't look like a real police officer's uniform either.
I know. It was a great uniform. They did a really good job. We had to like play around a bit because I think when I first got that script, because it's the first episode of the season.
Yeah.
And you know, it's really difficult when you have a character like, you know, Vex. You know, you can go really far out there, but at the same time, you know, you can't go too far because you got to try and give it some kind of reason.
Yeah.
So when I first saw it, I was like, oh, okay, I think we may be pushing this a bit too far. Okay, like the bondage whipping dominatrix thing I could get because it was kind of ironic that somebody who controls people wants to be controlled in 206. And, you know, that was a really nice trait that he's basically playing with all these things. With that, when I first saw it, I was like, okay, are we taking this too far just because I may become a bit of a joke? But then I was like, you've got to look where Vex is at that point in time. Like, he's just come off the Garuda thing, he's clearly injured, he's living with the girls, he's got nowhere to go, and he's obviously bored out of his mind. And he loves taking the piss out of Dyson. Like, it all came at the last, you know, the last episode of that last season. And to a degree, I think he's flirting with him a lot. I don't think it's altogether real. No, but I think he knows how to completely get under his skin. And
he loves to do it.
And as soon as I thought about it that way, I was like, all right, we can go as far as we want to go. Right? Let's just have Vex, because at the end of the day, he still looks like someone you wouldn't really want to mess with. Even if you walked into a police station dressed like that, the police would be like, no one ever in any police station in the world, I'm sure, has ever just walked in and gone up to a detective in that kind of outfit and gone into the office discussing a case. So
clearly he's insane, so let's just leave him be.
Just make him back up from that guy and let him go on his way without...
Dyson can take care of it.
Crazy little looking girl as well that he's with. And, yeah. So, I mean, you know, the costume really worked in that sense. And when it's done like that, I think you can go as far as you want to go. But
I like that he keeps putting on Bo's kimono, and he's just like, "Oh no, I altered it. It fits really nice now."
Well, she's supposed to be the chosen one.
Yeah.
So what are you gonna do? You're gonna go in and find like the funniest bit of it. Like that's what Vex is gonna do.
Vex is awesome.
You know,
he's just sitting around all day. He's got nothing better to do than go through her kimono section.
He can basically do what he wants, and for some reason he has that allowance, you know, and I think he always has that allowance with everybody, even though the Morrigan is in charge of him. I still think he's just kind of, you know, I think he admires her because she's such a bitch, and I think he loves being around her because she has so much fun. And obviously there was a time, if there was ever a backstory, I'd love to just see the two of them, just when they were just completely taking the piss out of everything. You know, just the two of them when they were in good times. But it seems like, you know, that's kind of fallen a bit, and they're both on slightly different tracks. So yeah, you know, I think he's kind of out there on his own. So that means that he can play by his own rules, and it's really good for the show because then you have a character there who can basically do and say anything that a lot of the other characters might not be able to say.
Yeah,
that's true.
Because, and even though now he's in a much tighter spot, you know, I fully expect him to maybe at some point try and get out of it.
Yeah.
Or maybe not, or get himself in even worse danger. You know?
Oh man.
And he's never been one to filter what he's thinking anyway, so
that's true.
He'll just like...
Why would you? You can control anybody.
Yeah.
And, you know, even to the last split second when his powers are working, of course, even with the red caps and everything, it's all political then. Like a lot of people would say, all right, if Vex had like mesmer powers, why is he worried about the red caps? Well, it becomes a bit political, you know, and you've got to think that there's this world where they all exist, and you wouldn't want to piss all those people off because maybe, you know, they help you with this part of your business in this Fey world, and if it comes down to it, there's a lot of them. I can't control 30 red caps at once, you know, all coming back from a football game. Just, you know, how many balls will I have kicked in my face then?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so yeah, even all of that, he's just a very interesting character with how he plays in that scene.
And he just right from the beginning so far, only 3 episodes in at this point while we're recording this, it just seems more fun this year, more flirty. Well, like you said, flirty. He's more out there. I mean, it's not that he wasn't before, but I think there's more concentrated, Vex in the first 3 episodes than we've gotten previous, and it totally works. He needs his own spinoff.
It helps that he's...
Oh, my agent would love that. But, as would my bank manager. But, I think it's really tricky with these characters, and with series like this, to make them to have longevity and like, I don't know. There's a part of you as an actor, you always want to be part of everything, and I did the pilot with everybody to begin with. And I knew it was a really great show, and I know I had a really good character, and that it would have a life in the show, but I had to be really careful of how it was plotted out. And it's tough when you have a character that that's recurring. And often in these type of series, you find these characters that begin quite small, and then they track a journey. And I don't, that's part maybe having an actor that understands the part, and totally having like an executive producer and a showrunner, and hopefully networks and things like that understand the value of those characters. So it's been a kind of tricky journey, because I wanted him to because he started off in a pretty evil place. The first time you see him, he kills a vampire. He's totally having fun with him with his hand on a goblet, and then it gets... Yeah,
he's like a cat. He's just going to play with his food first.
Not so long ago. Which in the Fae world, even though he's a baby killer, as some people might say, which is a horrible thing...
that's how Sue stays young, though.
Yeah,
but in the Fae world, I mean, that's... from the dark side's perspective, that is law. Like, it had to happen. Like, the Dark Elders are like, this is how we deal with these things. And every culture has some horrific ways of dealing with things that none of us agree with. And that's just it. And he is a henchman who has managed... He's a survivor, much like Kenzie, much like Bo, which is why I think they kind of all have a similar bond. They're all survivors. And, for a character like that, then after, 8, to have that kind of crazy beginning, then where do you go with that? Do you make him the big evil guy then who gets killed quickly? Or do you take him on a journey?
Yeah.
Do you try and find out, okay, is he really evil? Because that's a bit two-dimensional.
Right.
And then can we go a little further with this? Maybe he's the guy, he's a survivor who, they all like because he has probably the best power. Yeah, everybody would want to control everybody. And if there was like a load of these people... And can you imagine an army of mesmers? Like, no one could do anything. It'd be like an army of... Dr. X's or whatever, Professor X's, which would be impossible to defeat. So
a nice geek reference there too.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because they kind of have a similar power.
It's true.
Professor X is very much like order.
It's very Patrick Stewart.
And or James does a far more class kind of.
That's right. Sort of thing, James.
I know James. Yes, I live with James for 4 years.
That's right.
I forgot that.
Lovely guy. Yeah. So it's a lot of fun, and he's in that place. I think the fun at the moment that you're getting with him is also counterbalanced with the fact he's probably in the worst space possible for who he is and the way he's lived his life. So it's an awful place, and I think he's trying to amuse himself as much as possible. And
especially because like he said, everybody's laughing at him because he can't do anything right now. So
he can't go out. I mean, if you had that power, you're the guy who walks into the room and no one's going to mess with you, and everyone all throughout the series, everyone's talked about that. He doesn't have that anymore, and that means he has even less than Kenzie in some ways. So like he's like filth, in any world. You can't go anywhere, and for someone like him, like he can't very well go out into the street and do anything as a human. Like it just, so he has to try and make up this sort of thing that he's away, and I don't know what the politic thing of him being in the club is. It must be like he's disappeared for a while. He's got this whole human reputation to uphold. So like He's in a horrible spot. And then at the same time, he's a sadist and likes to have fun and is used to doing that. So that's what you get in that first bit, and he's doing it with the girls, and it's not necessarily a lot of fun, you know. And I think he does really admire both of them for being loners and survivors too.
Yeah.
And I truly think that. And as evil as people think he is for like being a baby killer, whatever, you gotta understand that's like law in their world. So maybe it's not as crazy as people think.
Yeah.
You know, in our world that would be awful. In the Fae world, I mean, it is awful, but it's just instructions.
Yeah.
You're being told to do
The
it.
way they do it.
And at the same time, I mean, it's not like we've never had the death penalty or anything, which is kind of the same mentality as far as taking care of your problems.
Exactly, and you
In society.
put somebody in a chair. You know, they've been like on death row for how long thinking about it, contemplate it, then we inject them with like this wall of, you know, fancy injections. It's almost like a graphic equalizer, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know,
Each one, the plunger
now
drops
this
on each
one.
one.
Oh
Yeah.
no, we're a little less, a little more. No, we need a little bit more of that.
It's like space camp when they're trying to ignite the rockets.
Wow.
It's awful. It's awful.
Space camp.
Wow.
Going back.
Space Camp. Did you just mention that movie?
Space camp.
When they had to, they didn't want the one to ignite and then crash the.
That was the movie in the store that you saw on the shelf. And you were like,
I love that.
I've seen everything here.
Who was that? That was what? Leah
Leah
Thompson,
Thompson, Tate Donovan,
Kate Capshaw.
Joaquin Phoenix when he was still Leaf.
Yeah.
Kate Capshaw as a brunette,
But
which
it
was
was an
hot.
awful concept. You know, you were like, do I really want to watch
Do I want
Space
to do
Camp?
this? Yeah.
I mean, what kind of NASA
I wanted to go into
exercise is
space.
that? You know, it's like Zero Dark 30s today, isn't it? It's like, you know, it's promo for NASA. You know, let's get these pretty young people in and make a movie about it, and then, you know.
We just needed the
Zero
robot.
Dark 30s, the same thing for the CIA.
That's true.
You know, let's just condone torture.
Yes. And waterboarding and all that.
Exactly.
Fun stuff.
Well, baby
They should
killers,
like make a.
you know, waterboarding. Where are we going tonight? Fun and games.
Fun and games.
Season 3. It's so much fun.
Now, one of the really good questions I like here is it harder or easier to work with like Chris and Zoe, because you worked on Lost Girl, but now you've also done Sex After Kids with them as well. So is it easier to go and work with them on something else, or was it tougher because you already knew them?
Was it harder to come back to Lost Girl world?
I actually think it's better. No, in any business, if you have a working relationship with people, you develop a shorthand, and then if you like the people and you respect their work, inevitably you develop something that means that you can talk about projects and parts
Yeah.
in a way that might be a little bit more difficult if I turn up on the first day of set and then you've got the scene, or you know, you need to talk to the director or the actor about the scene prior to it. It makes it a bit more difficult. I mean, the benefits always of working on a series where you're in it more often is that you will get a bit more input and you learn how to, you know, that give and take that's required, and hopefully all in the benefit of something positive, you know, and not narcissistic. Like, you know, the show needs to be about me, and I need to earn more money than everyone else.
Bigger trailer.
Yeah, but I don't think we're all like that, and like because I did the pilot with Chris. I got to know Chris very, very quickly off the bat. Has become a very good friend. I'm actually going out for drinks with after this.
Very nice.
Because I'm off the cleanse.
That's right.
I was Zoe. It's funny because I was Zoe. I didn't really get to know her until I saw her because that part changed.
Mm-hmm.
So. And then I wasn't really on season 1 too much on the latter end of it. And it wasn't really until kind of mid-season 2 that I got to know her, but she came up to me at a party at the end of season 1 when we had the showing of the first ever episode. I didn't have a clue who she was, and she said, "Kim, I just want to tell you, you're great." And then I was trying to figure out what her bag was, because, you know, it's very rare that actors come up and say that to you, but then getting to know Zoe, she's really honest, straight up front person, and she has a wicked sense of humor. And if you didn't know her, if you don't know most Brits, the sarcasm and the wit can maybe throw you off and think that this person's.
What did
totally
you just
taking-
say? Yeah.
Which is what I had to begin with. I was like, hang on a minute, she's Canadian.
Yeah.
That would be something I would say to take the piss out of somebody. But, no, it turns out no, and she's just a really, really great person. She really cares about the craft. She really cares about the characters, and she's just, you know, a really wonderful professional and human being. As is Chris, and they both have a similar thing, except they both kind of deal with it slightly different ways in terms of, you know, how they approach it. You know. They're both different, which is a good thing. So working with those two people, particularly on a project like Sex After Kids, which we were all like a really strong part of, ultimately because of Lost Girl, and you know, we were all putting a lot of like trying to hope that the love they were having for Lost Girl, people would think, okay, maybe we can fund these people to do something a little bit more, which is a big ask and very different. Like crowdsourcing is a brand new thing, and you feel a little bit uncomfortable with that because you're asking people for money, sometimes largely because they're supporting you for a project that they like that's completely different. So then you're like, okay, I'm asking people for money. What if it's rubbish? You know, it's a bit weird. We're not used to doing that as actors.
Yeah.
So for all three of us, we got to talk about that a lot, and the project also happened very quickly.
It did.
I got the email this time last year, and the script wasn't even written.
Yeah,
So
because
that's right.
tomorrow I'm flying out to Santa Barbara for the world premiere. It's
That's
a little
pretty-
kind of
yeah.
unreal, considering there wasn't even a script on the table. So for us three, particularly Zoe and I, working on that script, we were able to get through stuff really quickly. So we were like, this doesn't work, that doesn't work, Jeremy, can we, that, and then we would all have a conversation constantly about things, obviously behind Jeremy's back.
Clearly.
Or Chris and I from an oyster bar, you know, just drinking, going, Jeremy, what you need to do.
We're changing
No, listen to us. Listen to us. You know, what you need to do. Oh, bring me 12 more oysters and a bottle of Chardonnay. Yeah, other than that, you know, it's like, we just we got somewhere very quickly. Which you can't do if you don't know people. And you'll notice in the business, most people work with people they know.
they do.
And they continue to work with people they know. You know, Tarantino, you know, he's always got, you know, there's a roster of people that he likes to keep with and hang with, and Scorsese. There's a whole
Whedon.
Funny enough, Scorsese and Tarantino, it's like, oh, DiCaprio, he must have his own talent agency or something. I don't know.
I don't know how that works. Sorry, I know.
I love
Django
Django
Unchained
Unchained though, so I thought.
How can you not like Leo? Come on.
You haven't seen it?
No.
It's very, very good.
Yeah, I've liked which is funny because that kind of leads into something else we've got, because we already know your favorite movies, which is The Goonies and Teen Wolf and blah blah blah. That's right.
I'm not pointing at breasts. I'm pointing at
Bosoms. But we've started this whole new sequence
breasts.
for returning guests,
Boobies.
Okay.
where it's Paul Amos starring in everything.
Okay.
So we will give you a movie title, and you would tell us who you'd like to play in that film.
A movie title.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like.
I hope I know the characters then.
You will.
Hitchcock movie. In which Hitchcock movie would you like to star?
Ooh.
Anything with Cary Grant is still my answer.
Yes.
Because he's.
I'd love to have a go at Psycho.
I honestly could see it.
That could be fun.
Yeah.
As the Janet Leigh character.
No, in a kind of modern take, that would be fun. I think that, I mean, obviously that movie did have a new revamp, wasn't that?
Yeah,
Yeah, it was very good.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
They missed the point.
Someone like Fincher would do a revamp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go back to the book.
So it just had like a dirty, grainy kind of feel. So you weren't really with the modern day kind of American motel type thing. You know?
Yeah.
That sort of, it's something a bit weird and off track that's modern America, as opposed to what they did with it. That would be fun.
Get Cronenberg to do it and just have gooey stuff everywhere.
But Cronenberg would just be too weird.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be a little far off.
For that one, because that one has to have a lot of like Hitchcocks are all based in character on.
Oh,
Yeah.
Where Cronenberg is, but it's with this off-kilter tone.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'd like to see
Lynch, we could go through all the Davids.
David Lynch, David Lean. The Goonies. Who would you be in the Goonies?
Oh!
You don't have to be your same age as
I know
now.
my answer.
Oh, my word. I mean, that's impossible. I'm going through all the characters right now, and I like them all. And I mean, I know who people would think I would be. Mouth.
This is my choice too. Mouth is awesome.
Mouth is awesome.
Mouth is awesome, but I could totally see you doing the, and then in 5th grade.
I love Chun.
I made this noise like.
And we threw the fake pig over the side. It was terrible.
Oh no! Or maybe Sloth.
Sloth, yeah. Rocky.
I'm a British Sloth. Maybe.
That's what I said. Booty trap.
Or maybe I could be. What's that song the guy sings? You're Maria. What's that song he sings?
I want to say it's Ave Maria, but it's not.
No. Anyway,
Yeah,
I remember that. I love that. I love
Be
that he
Mama.
sings that song.
The Mama Catelli or whatever it was.
I know. It was that, and then it was Throw Mama from the Train.
Yeah, exactly.
That for her. That was
it.
Maria.
That's all she
That's
needed.
all she needed.
Yeah.
She worked with DeVito and
Yeah.
the Goonies.
Alright, now if you could be in the Tarantino movie.
Oh. Do you know what? I am really digging Christopher Waltz right now.
Mm-hmm. He's
That's cool.
fantastic. I haven't seen him in Django, but
He is
in
awesome.
Inglourious
in Django.
Basterds, he's amazing.
But I love his style, and I love these round tables that they have. Do you watch these?
Mm-hmm.
The round tables
Yeah.
I haven't.
for the Oscars? You haven't seen these?
No.
You have to see these. Like, they have them every single year. And for some reason, people don't watch them. And it's nuts. I'm sure people don't know about them. But
Yeah.
they have the round tables, and they film it. All the directors, all the actors, and they all sit in a room and they just talk about the craft.
That's
And
cool.
They are amazing. And Waltz's last year was absolutely fantastic. Like, he obviously comes from a real theatre background, which
Mhm.
I obviously affiliate with. And then he's moved into sort of film, and he just has this wonderful ability on camera to be both theatrical and very cinematic, which I'm most interested in, because that, I think, is kind of where I am.
Mm-hmm.
At times I like to play with the idea of being very theatrical on film, and then also then trying to be quite filmic. I'm mixing the two constantly, because I think it's a really interesting mix and medium, and Tarantino, I think, drags that out of people and
Yeah.
tries to push that out of people, or push, pull, whatever.
Good.
Get it.
And Waltz, I think, really has that. So I loved his character in Inglourious Basterds,
Yeah.
and I love his character in Django Unchained.
Alright, I might have to stay
It's just so funny, so theatrical, but yet so character based, and then at times just beautifully filmic. Like you really get into the soul quickly, which is what the camera's for.
Okay.
Anyway.
I like that. That was awesome. And I got two more. Got the Muppet movie.
The Muppet movie?
Yep.
Which
one?
Muppet?
The first one, 1979.
Okay.
So, or if you could be any Muppet.
Animal.
Good choice.
I was a big Animal fan when I was really young, and
Like last week.
I was happy. Funny enough, it was only a week ago that I was dropping my daughter off at daycare, and the daycare person had a animal puppet from like 1978.
those.
It was really well made.
Yeah, they were
It was
the
actually
big
like
ones,
a
right?
real
Yeah.
freaking puppet.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe it, because I totally regressed back to my I demanded from my parents to buy me a drum set, an animal drum set, and they did. And I had this animal drum set that I used to play because I loved animal. So, it's a
Drums!
brainer, that one.
Awesome. Alright, I'm going to jump around to another question then. Because I don't know what this is. You're going to know what it is.
20 minutes.
How many of the cast ate your ghost pepper? And what is a ghost pepper? Because I don't know what a ghost pepper
No,
is.
manada.
Not many.
Not many.
Yeah, I think the ghost pepper will have to be this summer because I was growing them all throughout the summer,
Oh.
and then I got them at the tail end of it after we kind of I finished my stint on our school. It was just Jeremy.
Jeremy, wow.
Yeah, and it was on
Bless.
the day where I think Zoe and I did most of our scenes as well. We were all in like one apartment because I'm like, it's funny like that Zvex and my character Peyton, they both kind of were in a similar place. It's really weird.
Crashing on a
They were crashing
sister-like
on
person's
people's
couch.
Yeah, I don't want to be typecast, but yeah, they were, and yeah.
For Jeremy.
Yeah, so
Do you have
Jeremy
any
did
rules
it,
for a
but
vagrant?
Next year, I've got loads of stuff, hot sauces I made and stuff out of it. But ghost pepper is the hottest pepper in the world on the Scoville rating.
Oh man.
And it's from India. And if you Google it or you go to Yahoo, you will see a piece where Gordon Ramsay goes to India, and they have a competition.
Oh, God.
As to who can eat the most ghost peppers.
Oh,
Now, these
God.
things are, it's like absolute fire. Like, I can't tell you, like you cut a slice and you put it in your mouth, and then you literally run around for about 50 minutes cursing any decision that you made to try and even think about doing it, anyone who put it in your possession, even looking at it, whatever. And then after 15 minutes, you feel high as a kite for about another 15-20 minutes, which is obviously wonderful. And, but in India, they have a competition as to who can eat the most. And this woman was trying to break the world record, and I think she ate, is it 42?
Jesus! I thought it would be like
And
a
she
single digit
failed
or something.
in 2 minutes.
Oh.
42 in 2 minutes. And then, because she failed that one, she tried to break the next one, which put in the ghost peppers in her eyes.
Oh, dear Lord. No.
In her eyes, and she broke it. So she just done 42 peppers in her mouth,
Oh.
and then she did like 23 in her eyes.
Oh, my God. On purpose, no.
Only in India.
Yeah. I mean, I love a good
Forget
crowd.
only in America.
And then it's like the end of
Only in
Raiders of the
India.
Lost Ark, where like just everything melts and
Melts and
just light comes
explodes.
flying
Oh,
out.
is that or Total Recall?
Yeah, yeah.
There's my geek reference for the year.
There we go.
Don't we love that little bit of like thing on Arnie? You're like, that's clearly fake. It's clearly special effects.
Yep.
They've done a wonderful job.
Not that
'cause
special.
It's still late 80s, early 90s. But anyway, what's the next question?
With Lauren, wow, with Zoe plays your sister in Sex After Kids.
Yeah, she does.
Did you coach her on her accent? Did she bring it herself?
No, she brought it herself. Actually,
Right.
I didn't even talk to her about it. I didn't do anything with her about it. If anything, I was having to try and match a little bit what she was doing, which was always like she's really good at accents, and she, obviously her family are from. And here's a fun fact of the day. So, intently listening. As an incentive for Sex After Kids, obviously got these stories and clearly the beer's working.
Bare naked ladies.
That for Sex After Kids, there was an incentive. A friend of mine, who's like one of Canada's leading Somalians, Jamie Drummond, I asked him if he would offer his services for a night to do a wine tasting.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And
I remember
would
that.
join. And if somebody purchased that for 2,000, we would do it towards the film. Somebody bought it up within like 2 days. Funny enough, it was for Zoe's sister, but Zoe didn't buy it. Funny enough. Anyway, and so I was at this wine tasting last week at Zoe's sister's house, who's a lovely lady, and we got talking. And I know that Zoe had lived in various different places. She was Cyprus and the UK and various other places, and she'd lived in Wales. And I talked to her about it, and she was, oh, yeah, we were close to St. Athens, whatever. So then last week, I was talking to her sister, and I was like, oh, so where did you live? Because funny enough, I'd never asked Zoe this. And she said, oh, we lived in a little village called Pencoed.
Oh my God.
I was like, you are kidding me. No! I said, Pencoed? She's like, yeah. I said, that's where I'm from! You mean Zoe Palmer and Paul Amos were living in the same village and they didn't even know it when they were like 8 or 9 years of age?
Maybe you were really siblings. After all that.
Maybe I went up to her at the local disco and I started to dance. I said, I like you. Will you dance with me? Yeah, to, I don't know.
That's
Duran.
Duran. Not, yeah, oh, Duran.
that was awesome.
Yeah. I'm glad they got the rights to that song too. That was cool.
Yeah, they got that one and what was that?
Kanye's, the Kanye dance thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kanye.
And the Pussycat Girls.
Don't you know?
Pussycat Dolls song. Yeah. I was like, holy crap.
Yeah, like that episode was like, okay, they throw some money down for the rights there.
It was the music budget for the season, boys.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was awesome. Such a good episode.
I mean, they could have chosen a different song and paid me more for the app, but there you go. Maybe I'll just pull out the knife right now.
Yeah.
Whoops.
You're not going to do much with the bottle opener.
Well, this is an easy one, and I think we've asked this one before. Was Team Dyson, Team Warren?
I'm not going to side on
Good
that
for
one.
you. There were a couple.
I read the forums.
I was like, yeah, there's a couple questions here that
I
just
read
won't
the pages. I'll be in like 3 episodes of the season if I go either way. If I just sit on the fence, maybe I'll get 6.
That's awesome.
I like that one.
Oh,
yeah, no, sorry. The
Go ahead.
who in the cast can do the most shots in a row?
That'd have to be Chris Holden Reed.
I was gonna say him or Zoe.
I'm not gonna drink with him.
Do you know what? I'm sure Zoe back in the day, not back in the day, it's not like she's ancient, she's a really young lady, but yeah, Chris.
Although Chris has got like a hollow leg
I think
apparently,
what
according to
happens- I
Jeremy.
think what happens with Chris is that like he like, you know, he parties and then he doesn't, because then he plays Dyson. So like you know, it's a tough thing. He's got to play the Wolfman.
He's gotta,
Yeah.
being really.
You know,
good
he's
shape
got
all
to
the
buy all
time.
that protein nonsense and like, build up.
Yeah.
And then sometimes go. You know, you get that every like 10 eps.
Yeah.
So it's coming up this season.
I'm sure. Yeah, Chris is good when he's out for a night out. He's a lot of fun. As a lot of probably the Twitter people on After Sex After Kids. Like he was really great with them all. I almost felt like he was like the Twitter pimp that night. He was just like he had all these like ladies,
He did.
or, like, you know, and the Twitter pimp.
Yeah. Although I did get to accost him when he came into the Monarch afterwards, because when Emily was on the show, she said at some point, and I don't remember why, I brought out my Scottish accent.
Okay.
And she said, "Oh, you need to have Chris on the show, and the two of you can have a brog-off." So when we met at the Monarch, I was like, "Dude, Emily says you need to come on the show. We need to do a brog-off." And he like stands like this far from me and just starts broguing. And I stood right there and we're just going toe to toe for like a minute and a half. And he's like, "We're totally doing this." I'm like, "Yes." I have to practice my brogue.
He loves that bro.
He does. He brings it out.
I liked that in the episode too, and I think
you like it?
Bo was like, "What just happened to your voice?" He's like, "I don't know. Do you like it?"
He likes it. He's really good at accents and stuff.
He's fun.
Yeah, he's a good actor.
Yeah. Now
And he's very funny.
he is.
And the great thing is, like, you know, he's so much fun in real life. Like, he's like very, very, very funny guy. Does loads of different styles of drama very well. But it's so good that people get to see that. In
Yeah.
this
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because usually Dyson's all.
He's a tough character, you know. He's really compromised, and they compromised him really early from the beginning at the end of season 1.
Yeah.
It's a tough place to try and work a character out of. You know, you've got to like it's a big thing, and I think he's done it really well, and I think this season he's going to do it really well.
Yeah.
Looking forward to seeing what he does with it. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just such a smart guy, and he's aware, and I think, this whole season is great. So
I'm looking forward. Well, people are already complaining that you left now.
Yeah.
Episode 3, like we were getting texts today while we were asking for questions, and people were like, I don't want,
But he took his duffel bag.
He
He went up and
he left. Vex left. I don't want to watch anymore. Yeah.
yeah, but it's what happens with these characters. They have to go away for a little, and you can't have too much of that character at the moment anyway.
Yeah.
Like, you have to give reason for him being around, otherwise it becomes very, very difficult. And you have to have multi-layers to a character like that for it to survive a little longer. And for a character like that to be a major player. Usually in seasons, you have a character like that and it's only there for the season because it serves a purpose. It's like, it's the big bad guy, it's Jimmy Smits, I don't want to be the Jimmy Smits of Glasgow, like I come in and kill the show and anyway, that's a Dexter reference. Having beforehand. So in order to build that up, it's been like a real tough not tough, but dialogue with the writers and producers to make sure we're all on the same page, because he's too good a character to just throw out for a season because there's a lot of benefit from it. I think the long term is better for a character like that, and a much better journey, and a good journey for the audience to go on, because you hate him to begin with, and then he's annoying, and then like he makes people so uncomfortable, and then he's got to a place where he's vulnerable. And I think for people to see Faye characters vulnerable is really interesting, like interpersonal relationships vulnerable, and no better person to do that or character with than Kenzie, because she's a survivor, so she understands that, and then you can pull out real drama and touching moments in this crazy Fae world that doesn't exist. And these characters
What do you mean?
don't exist. So a lot of course people should take these characters in this project seriously, but it's tough to get to a place where you can do that. And you have to work it and have constant dialogue with the people who write it and perform it, and so it can have a life. And I think it does have a really strong life. And we deal with issues that a lot of other shows wouldn't even think of touching. And characters doing things that you wouldn't even think of doing, and then doing this, and everything in life isn't black and white, isn't light and dark Fae. And
if they just focused on Fae all the time, then like viewers would be almost separated from it, whereas it's more, even though they're not human, they're still dealing with very human emotions and relationships, and that's the thing that draws the fans in more to them and makes us care about the characters.
Yeah, absolutely. When Lauren punches Vex at the end of the episode, a lot of people will be like, as if you could punch like the hardest guy in the room, but she had a consultation with him at the beginning. She knows the guy is listening. He's going to get up and maybe hit her, but probably not, because do you know what I mean?
Because Kenzie still has that stick.
A stick. And it's funny because I read a couple of things about Vex being they've turned the character kind of really like is he gay? Is he he's become too weak? Blah 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 blah. And it's like, okay, gay doesn't equal being weak.
First of all,
actually equals being quite strong, and you've made your choices, and it's actually quite difficult to be a gay person in lots of societies. Anyway, that's another thing. Secondly, he's a rock star, for crying out loud. Do you know what I mean? He's like you tell me Mick Jagger's never put on mascara?
There was that whole Mick Jagger and David Bowie in bed at one point. So.
I mean, either way, whatever.
Yeah, exactly. They're rock stars.
Do you know what I mean? They're rock stars. They're they're comfortable with what they're doing in life. And at the moment, we've pushed Vex into a place where he's vulnerable. and he's making relationships that he's never ever made before.
Yeah.
So that thing with Kenzie, I think, is an absolute first for him.
Yeah.
And,
Which puts him almost in line with being like a prepubescent boy again, because it's a kind of relationship he's never had to navigate before.
Yeah, and she is so kind of rock as well. And she so totally gets him. And I think you get that way back in 2006. You know, like there's that scene in the bar with the two of them, and he totally gets her. He understands it. There's a survivor instinct affinity, and that's where he's at. And like the whole idea that, like, you know, we could be turning Vex weak. He's not weak, he's just lost his powers.
Yeah.
Anyone who lost anything in life, like if you're a multimillionaire and you go down to nothing and you're living on the street, it's really pretty hard.
Yeah.
If you get anything, you used to having a mortgage and a house, and then you go on the street. It's pretty hard.
Yep. If you're a brawler and you lose the use of one arm or whatever, like you can't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, Vex was able to take monsters down without touching them. So now it's like he's not used to physical contact.
Even different. Monsters wouldn't even consider attacking him. And that's what he's got. So he's got to stay from behind. He's got to keep low, because if people knew that, how many people would want to kill Vex?
Yeah.
Way more than taking a football to the face.
Ebony clearly loves him in a friendship bond way, because, like, how many people could she have sent his way?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yes, true.
I didn't even think about that one.
But, you know,
and you guys are so awesome together too.
Yeah, and she is fantastic. Yeah, she
needs to come on the show.
And she will, and she will. I'll get her to come on.
See,
I'll definitely get her to, and we'll get Chris to come on as well.
Oh yeah,
he's
in March.
Early March.
There we go.
We've got to support these things in Canada. It's like there's no forum for actors to come in and talk about any of the projects that they're doing in Canada. There's no talk show.
Yeah.
There's really any coverage.
It's us. It's all us, baby.
It's just it's not on, and I think things like this is the way.
And it's not even like just talk about Lost Girl and nothing else that you may have done or be doing now.
Yeah. We can move on to other projects. It's tough at the moment because like you have actors in who are on shows like this, or there's a movie like Sex After Kids. It's tough because we're always in between. Yeah, a lot of us are locked to you know, a show like that, or it becomes like when you get a show like this, or you're on a show like this, it's tough to do other things. Like you do the odd bit part every now and again. I'm not inclined to kind of take any part unless I can see it's a step forward. Yeah. So when I came to the country, you know, I did like Murdoch Mysteries, which I'm still recurring in, and that was good for me. And then I wanted to move on to something else, and then I had this, and that's good because it's a contrast, it's different. Now I'm like, okay, now I've got to kind of break the North American thing, and then get a part like in a North American as a North American. Yeah. So it's not like you just do loads of stuff. And any actor's career, actually, if you look at it, it's usually a bunch of stuff. Yeah. And then
every now and again,
3, and it needs to be that. You know, it's a tricky process trying to navigate a career and trying to navigate what the next thing is. So if you've seen too much, or you do too much, and you do too much of the same thing, it's not a good thing. It's good to be out of the picture, in demand, or trying to figure out something different and be a true actor, you know, and not just kind of. Well, they're saying that my characters on Lost Girl and Sex After Kids are almost the same.
Dun, dun, dun. Now, is there a role that you would want to play?
It's a role that I want to play.
Yeah.
Do you know what? It's tough because I did loads of theatre. I know I'm doing TV mainly, and a little bit of indie film. I really want to do theatre again, but it's really tough in this town. I'd like to do some more theatrical things on film, things that are based in that, but it's really tough. I mean, this town is, in terms of Toronto, is it's not as easy. It's not like being in London where you can just go off and decide to do a play that takes you and you get fulfilled in a different way. It's the theatre scene in there.
Aladdin's coming to town.
Oh wow! Always wanted to play the genie. I just take, you know,
that wouldn't be
an 8 ball and it'd be the genie. Is that Robin Williams thing? Anyway.
Ooh.
He's alright, he's talked about that on loads of...
Fine. He's got money.
His cocaine addiction. Genie addiction. Yeah, so... yeah, I just want to, do something North American next.
Nice.
So that I can... I've been living here for, 4 or 5 years, and it's tough to identify whose story you can tell.
Mm-hmm.
If you're an actor and you're kind of worth your weight, you always want to tell stories. So, someone like Dr. Roberts on Murdoch Mysteries, I understand that. It's like he's a classical guy, intelligent, wants to, it's like a lot of Shakespearean characters. There's a lot of them like that. So I got that, and it was interesting. And he's in Toronto as a working, psychologist for the first time, really cutting edge. It was really easy to identify with. I just arrived from the country. I was already like observing everything. Really easy character. Vex, the next thing, which is like, I've just come from living in London for 10 years. I come from kind of a rock, edgy, kind of fun background. And I travelled a lot for my job and had a lot of fun. And I like rock, I like music. I clearly partied a lot in London. And so it was a really easy character to morph into and be surrounded by all these like Canadian North Americans in this world. So that was great, so I can tell a story there. So the next one is, where do I tell a story as a North American, as a Brit living in North America, as a North American, and find out whose story do I want to tell?
Yeah.
Nice.
So it's things like that you always want to do as an actor. Otherwise, you're just doing parts to live, to money, eat, and be whatever. And I'd rather try and find something that meant something.
Nice.
So that's where I'm at.
I like that though.
So I'm working away. There's a bunch of different projects, and obviously some of them would clash with another season of Lost Girl.
Come on.
You just got to get more directors like Jeremy who will shoot on weekends.
It'll happen.
Super fast.
It'll happen.
Which I don't know.
It'll happen.
The strength of 303, let's hope.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I have no doubts. I have no doubts.
And I actually spoke to the. I didn't speak. I had a long email exchange with the director of 303, who is wonderful. He's a guy, Paolo Bartzman.
Mm-hmm.
He's amazing. He did episode 13 of season 2, which I think was the best episode of season 2.
Mm-hmm.
Number 13. It was the end of the first walk.
Right.
And he did episode 1 of this season, and he did episode 3 that I was in. And all of the actors love that guy. It's funny because he said on the email exchange I had today, he was like, we managed to create a relationship which was about commitment, relationships, yet lightheartedness. And he totally embodies what the show is about.
Wow.
Because it is commitment to the world.
Mm-hmm.
It is about the relationships that we develop, and it is about the lightheartedness and fun that we have in that world. And that is what the show is about. You can't take it too seriously.
No.
But at the same time you can.
Yeah.
Because they are meaningful relationships.
Yes. Which is the best part. That's the part that keeps me coming back on this is the relationships. I mean, it's cool to see who the monster / Fae of the Week is, but the story and the characters and the way they interact. And you don't
often get that.
Yeah.
And we are in a Fae of the Week kind of, episodic kind of, sort of vibe. So, I mean, I think maybe we've earned the right to move on a little.
Totally.
Yeah.
And I think.
I mean, last season we had like the Garuda threat looming until the very close to the end of the season, and now it's kind of like they're in the fallout from that.
Well, it's now
everybody's just like kind of like okay.
Well, now Bo's dealing with herself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like obviously, she still has to be the Bo that is, she's committed to like solving all these things, though she's on this journey now. Which is the journey I was so excited about with the pilot, which is like, this is a woman who's really trying to find out exactly what she is and who she is. Mm-hmm. As an orphan, generally.
Yeah.
Which is a really, I thought was really powerful, you know. Right off the bat, from when I first read the script, I was like, oh, wow, that's a really interesting concept, you know. How many people that find out that they're from, you know, they're adopted or whatever, that find it, and then there's this world that you have to try and find out.
Yeah.
Where am I from? Who's my mum? Who's my dad? What is the world that I live in? And
how do I fit in this world?
How do I fit?
What family do I create for myself?
And all of a sudden we've got to this point now, which is beautiful, I think, in the show, that like we can really drive her home over, you know, maybe a season or two or 3 or 4 5 6 7 to find out exactly what that is.
Yeah.
And I think we're in that right. Personally.
I think so.
All right, one last silly question to wrap it up. Most embarrassing song on your iPod?
Oh, Jesus. Sorry for the Christians and audience. Most embarrassing song on my iPod? I don't think I carry embarrassing songs.
Hey, I must be the only one.
Oh no.
Okay, good.
My whole selection is embarrassing, really.
Oh, we needed to end with a better question than that.
Now I just feel like I've let everybody down. Wow.
I posted on Facebook the other night that I was like strutting up the sidewalk to
crisscross.
crisscross.
Oh, crisscross, that's what it was.
Oh, Hanson! That would have been awesome. I don't have it on there though.
Word.
Crisscross was making me want to jump.
It'd be New Kids on the Block, and she'd probably be playing it like crazy right now because they're supposed to be touring again.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I heard on the news this morning.
You know,
that
she actually brought out for my daughter, because my daughter, you know, she's like 2, and she was asking for she got Barbie. Eventually it happens. You try not to. She'd be holistic. She'll won't watch TV, won't do anything Disney, blah blah blah. Anyway, eventually that happens, and she had Barbie, and then she was like, I want a Daddy Barbie. And we were like, oh, okay, Daddy Barbie. And then my partner was like, do you know what? I have a vintage
Oh no!
1987 Joey doll from New Kids on the Block, still in the box. Maybe we should give her that.
That's the daddy. The Daddy Barbie.
And that is Daddy Barbie now, which is Joey.
Amazing.
Amazing.
See, I have the curly hair.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I have no response to that.
I was hoping to finish the whole beer.
I know,
it's actually
you
possible.
can't take
I'm
the,
actually feeling a bit drunk right now.
10% alcohol.
There you go, and
I was hoping you would have
smile. Semi.
You look comfortable.
Borderline.
Freezing cold.
I don't drink.
There you go.
That's a drink.
I didn't think so. I didn't think you would. Because I remember at the Sex After Kids screening, because you had just come off part of the cleanse as well. You were taking a mid-break. Or
Yeah, I had a pint that night. Yeah,
that's right. Because we were chatting.
And then this is my first pint since then. So, yeah, I did break the cleanse. Thanks for letting everybody.
I'm sorry, everybody. Sorry.
Now everyone's going to be like, yeah, you broke it every night.
Yeah.
Like, this is what
He's not an honest person.
It was good during the day. That's the important part. While the sun's up.
We can't have this guy promoting our show.
Can't happen. Paul, thank you for coming in.
You're very welcome.
You're going to be awesome in Santa Barbara. You're going to have a great time.
We are going to have a great time.
It's going to be warm, for starters.
Yeah, and yeah, it's going to be fun. I have to like scrape into the opening gala because of my flight arrives at 5 p.m. and it starts at 8. The movie Disconnect we have to go and see.
Nice.
And then we might even see Eric from True Blood there.
Awesome. That doesn't mean anything.
I know, my
sorry.
missus loves Eric too.
I know who he is.
I have a picture of like Eric and Bex together, so I think that'd be.
That would just sweep the
Amazing.
internet. There would be memes about that everywhere.
No, I'm telling you, if I see the dude, I mean, come on, he's European.
Yeah.
That's right.
Come out and go fight. Hey, British. I'll play this guy called Vex on the show. Let's have Vex and Eric together. Come on, let's have it. Let's have it. Let's have it.
There we go. That's something to look forward to right there. That would be
Tomorrow night. I'll throw it out.
tweet the shit out of that. Yeah.
So wait, yeah, is it tomorrow night that Sex After Kids is premiering?
No,
Or is
it's
Friday?
No, it's the opening gala tomorrow.
Yeah.
So we're all there for that. It's the movie Disconnect with Jason Bateman.
Oh, another one.
Oh, I saw it at TIFF. That's why the It's good.
Maybe
like it.
they'll be there, maybe they won't. I'd imagine they'd have to pull in a few people for the premiere opening night, so we'll be at that. And it's
Might be a little easier there than Toronto.
Saturday night, Sex After Kids. Yeah.
Nice.
Please come.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
This will be late.
Yeah, this won't be airing, so please have come.
It was so good though.
Why didn't you come?
Why weren't you there?
Do you want?
Yeah, but it's so good. I love Sex After Kids. I
It's a really
wrote
good
to
time.
Jeremy right after I watched it. I said, yeah, Paul Shepard, I loved, but Sex After Kids is leaps and bounds ahead of all
It's
time.
actually, do you know what? I rarely say this to things. I mean, it actually is like, it's on a. It looks as good as anything that Hollywood
Yeah.
can throw out,
Yeah.
and it's smarter and a bit more real and cleverer.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
it'll do quite well.
I hope so. Yeah. Of course, then Jeremy won't come on the show again because it'll be too big for us.
He's got his own show.
Bastard.
What? You a load of Dunkin' Donuts?
Plus, he's mad at me because I didn't email him the next day.
Yeah, that's right. He was so
Don't make me
mad.
that big.
All right. Well, Paul, thank you for coming out.
You're very welcome. Thanks for the beer and the chat.
Yeah. Sue.
Sorry, it's such a big bottle. We can't even seal up
Sorry,
again.
you got me so drunk.
That was
My
Sue's plan
plans.
from the beginning. She's been talking about it all
I'm
week.
sorry, I'm sorry,
Take
I'm
care of
sorry.
him, Chris.
Too dark time,
He's coming to you.
You can't go with 2K the whole
Yeah.
way, can you?
Yeah.
It's not like I live in LA where I come straight out, the barbers. Well, it's not the barbers there, is it? It's like chic salon.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
all the barbers.
I'm sorry about the scarf and everything on Mel, and it's Canada.
Canada. Yeah.
Sure is.
And we want to thank our op, Lindsay Lewis, the Lindsay Lewis. Oh my
He's got his own little cute haircut going on.
Lindsay
does.
sounds like a girl, though, doesn't it?
It's a girl's name. We'll talk about that after this, though.
Oh my word! I
Nice.
know there's a transgender thing. I was thinking
Oh, no.
to begin with, and I was like, I'm gonna have to write a press release.
Yeah.
All right, Sue.
Tim,
It was awesome as always.
as always.
Yeah, it's a nice
Thank
way
you
to
for
tie up
having
our
me.
week. So there you go. Tim and Sue from the Mind Reels on Smithy.tv. See you next week.
Say bye to Hudson.
Bye, Hudson.
business. And all my competitors had little print ads in the newspaper. SWF wants to meet at GHP. There were a bunch of alphabets, like reading the alphabet. And I said, I'm not going to compete with people in the newspaper, little print ads. I'm going to go on television. I'm going to produce videos, and I'm going to produce videos of single women and men who are going to go on television and say, I'm Joe, I'm 25, I'm Cindy, I'm an accountant, and I'm going to go on TV. And people said to me, what are you, nuts? Nobody's going to go on TV doing that. But I always thought outside the box. My wife says, Dave, there's everybody else, then there's you. And I think outside the box, and I went on television shooting videos, and my videos are running 150 times a week on television. We generated millions of dollars in revenue, and then all my competitors start competing with me. You got to jump in on the action. Be a pioneer. Think outside the box. Get involved in this lucrative video market. You got to produce videos to market your product or service. They go wild online. I know the biggest players that still think in the print magazine world. They spend thousands and thousands of dollars for full-page color ads in the newspaper. $30,000 a day for a full-page ad in the newspaper promoting their product and service. And customers, they get the paper for the day, they read the paper, then they put it on the floor for their dog and their rabbits and their chinchillas. They shit on the paper. That's all they do. But with a video, you put it online, in 2 minutes you reach millions of people around the world. It goes insane, it goes viral, and you can cash in today. If your video is fun, it's exciting, and these production companies can do this for you, you can make a fortune in producing videos and uploading online, because that's where the action is today. You get more action online than you can on television. So start using videos, producing videos to market your product or service. Get it online, and let's make a lot of cash together now. For God's sakes, it's one-on-one this week. Go, 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 go produce your video. Leave it the hell alone. Go.